Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Today is the day of love. Flowers and candy abound. Lots of folks planning romantic dinners. So here's the question. What about the other 364 days of the year? Shouldn't we show our significant others love all year long? What if you don't have a significant other? What are your coping strategies while others around you are getting flowers and cards? Our relationship expert, Alvian Lyons, is here to help all of us with our love lives. And today is the last day of our Radio 1 Pledge Drive, so it's our turn to encourage you, my Another View listeners, to become members. So let's show some love for Another View.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope you have a sweetheart somewhere who is showering you with some extra special love today. A very special thank you to those of you who have already made your pledge of support to Another View and WHRV-FM. We really appreciate you. Now, remember, we have a matching gift, dollar for dollar, up to $1,500 that was given to us by one of our Another View listeners. He wanted to remain anonymous, but says, if you give $1,500, I'll give another $1,500. So there you go. So if you haven't become a member, now is the time to call. That number again is 889-9476. Okay, we're going to have a great time on Another View today. We're talking about love with our favorite relationship expert, Alvian Lyons. And we want to hear from you. Call us at 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. We want to hear about the most romantic thing that has ever happened to you on Valentine's Day or period. How you doing, Alvian?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so happy that you're here. Now, there is a segment of our community, our gay and lesbian community, that should be celebrating today.
They're
Those
extremely
who are
happy
couples,
today.
because,
Yes, they
as you know from last night, a federal judge struck down the Virginia ban on gay marriage. It has been stayed because it has been appealed, or it's going to be appealed, but it is a step forward. And I just want to let you all know that there is a community gathering this evening for the Marriage Equality Celebration. It is tonight. Doors open at 5:30. Remarks are at 6:15, and it's at Decorum on West 21st Street in Norfolk. So if you're interested and want to come and celebrate, and they're asking everyone to wear red, the color of love. So that love, Virginia says it's for lovers, so we need to make it for lovers for everybody. That's the end of that. So what do you think? How do we... is this a Hallmark holiday, or or is this truly an opportunity for us to show something a little more special than we do the rest of the year?
Well, I think it's a lot like birthdays. We enjoy people every single day. We enjoy the lives that we share with them, whether it's through friendship or intimate relationship, whatever it may be. But there's something about when it's the day that they were born that you kind of put a little more emphasis in things that you sometimes don't necessarily give the kind of investment to on a regular day. So I would say that ideally, Valentine's Day is just an opportunity to put a magnifying glass on what should already be there. The problem is if we're magnifying nothing.
That is a problem.
That's a problem. That's a definite problem. But
and especially if you're not having a good relationship all along, trying to make
up for it
on Valentine's Day, that doesn't quite work, does it?
Doesn't go very well, particularly for women, because really, regardless of how much we appreciate what it is that you give to us, for some women, their love languages are gifts. It's for others, it's acts of service, it's words of affirmation. For those of you who are familiar with the 5 love languages, for instance.
Let's talk about those love languages. What are they?
So you have acts of service, you have words of affirmation, you have touch, quality time, and then gifts. in particular. So those are the 5 primary love languages that are used by most of us. And it's not to say that we don't flex between some of those styles, but it is to say that we typically have one that we default to more than another. So for a lot of women in particular, a lot of it is quality time. We tend to want quality time with our partners, but that is not often something that we get. So we tend to trade off for some of the other love languages,
such
quote
as
unquote,
gift or
exactly,
others.
in order to compensate for the fact that we may not get the kind of time that we really want. But I was just talking the other day with some couples, and it came up all too often that men kind of felt like it was about the gifts on the holidays, that Valentine's Day was really about you've got to prove something to your partner. And when women say that they don't really want anything, the men were saying, we don't believe you.
Probably because we're trying to be nice.
We're really trying to be nice. We're really trying to be nice. And
isn't that interesting? You know, I found some fun stats about Valentine's Day. And this one says men have higher expectations than women in terms of Valentine's Day. And this is what they meant. Men expect their partner will spend $230 on a gift for them, while women only expect $196. Now, this is according to a survey from Chase Bank.
Interesting.
Now, isn't that interesting? So men are saying, you know, don't forget us.
Very interesting. Well, see, I heard something quite different, but because it's noon, I will not get into great detail about how the men say they would like to be shown that they are loved on Valentine's Day. Well, actually,
you know what? We were having a discussion in our, as you know, we have these great production meeting productions, and someone said that most men just want a smile and a willing spirit.
I like how that was said. That S squared, a smile and a willing spirit.
And a willing spirit. So
I like how that's said.
But in all seriousness, should it be about the gift, or should it just be about showing in whatever way is comfortable for you that and that your partner can receive that you just really love them?
And I think I agree with you that it really is about, and for me, I always refer to it as the investment. Because at the end of the day, most of the time, what we want from our partner is the thing that they value most. So if time is the thing that my partner values the most, then I'm likely to want quality time with you. If your money is what you value most, I'm likely to want a gift from you. Because what we want to know is that you're willing to invest in me the thing you prize most. Because for me, for you, for whomever it is who's on the receiving end of that affection, if I recognize that this is what you value and you're giving the most of what you value towards me, whether or not it's my primary love language, I recognize that it is yours. So I tend to want from you what it is I know you're going to value. The thing that says that you mean more to me than anything else at this moment. So it's not always about the gift. It really is about the measure of communication of how invested you are in me.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Give us a call. We'd love to know what your plans are for today, for Valentine's Day. We'd love to hear from you. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. So let's talk about, say you decide you are going to get a gift. I mean, how extravagant, how
do you make this thing?
Really, right. Is it about the flowers and the candy and the teddy bear, or should you really go for something
more significant
that they can keep for the rest of the year? And
that's based on your measure of practicality, because all of us are different. You know, for some of us...
Not a blender.
Right, please. Or a vacuum. Okay. But admittedly, I must admit, I wanted a vacuum for my birthday. I got one. It was a Shark. I loved it. I vacuumed every day, twice a day, for like a week.
You must have told someone that's what you wanted.
That's what I wanted, right. Because if my husband had given me that as his idea, it might not have gone over quite so well.
The meaning would have been slightly different.
Right. Does this come with tickets somewhere? Right. So I totally recognize that for each person, it's a little bit different. And it's not about how much you spend. And it's not about whether or not you are spending money, period, quite honestly. Because some of the most romantic gestures are the ones that we do on a budget. Sometimes on a budget of zero, you have nothing. So all you have is what's in your refrigerator or what it is that you can conceive of with your mind, when great love letters became the ultimate measure of affection. You know, when creating a beautiful picnic on the carpet in the house because you thought this whole thing through. You know, like, it doesn't have to be about how much you spent, because at the end of the day, the pressure that a lot of people feel, particularly men, in that most people perceive Valentine's Day to be more about the women than they do about the men. But the pressure that you put on your partner, or that men feel sort of self-induced to spend a significant amount of money to try to prove your love, really takes away from being able to enjoy what's about to happen. Because I'm thinking about the fact that I don't really have this to spend, but yet I'm doing it anyway because I'm trying to communicate something that really should be communicated in ways that don't require that kind of pressure in the relationship. It has a way of dimming the experience altogether when we do that. So we should really kind of back away from those kinds of things, especially in some of the economies we've recently experienced. Sure. We need to find more creative ways to show our loved ones how much we care about them. And quite frankly, a lot of us women, we're hopeless romantics. We love the thoughtful gift. We really do. And it could be nothing major.
And I was going to say, I love the idea of the picnic. What are some of the other things that you can do that really don't cost you any money, but that are wonderfully romantic?
Well, okay. So to my point previously about women love from you what it is that they know that you either value, or if you've stepped out of your comfort zone. I'll give a perfect example. My husband is not a huge talker. He doesn't talk all the time. He's not one of those people who are overly loquacious. He's not that guy. But several years ago, we banned presents in our house because we were broke college students when we got married. And the pressure was entirely too much, because it meant something that needed to get paid for didn't get paid for instead. And so the Valentine's Day might be exciting, but knowing that, you know, something else is going to be a problem, right? That we had to become a little bit more practical as we were working to finish our degrees. So we started to get creative in terms of finding ways to show love that weren't about the materialism. And in so doing, he started to write poetry to me. And I had no idea that this man was that talented. And so I have kept, and we've been married almost 20 years, I have kept every poem he's ever written to me, because I know what a sacrifice of the mind and the emotion and the heart that really was. So I really don't care. Now, admittedly, I got flowers this morning and I almost cried.
I know. I got flowers yesterday. I'm so excited. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
It really is lovely. So it's not that we don't appreciate it when you do some of the traditional things, but it's to say, when you give something of yourself that I know you thought long and hard, I know this wasn't a last minute gesture. I know you didn't have your secretary go make this happen for you. Whatever it may be, it says something more.
Does he know that you kept the poems?
Yes, because occasionally I read them to him in my coffee house voice.
I love that. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Keith joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Keith. You're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, what I normally do, I don't really use Valentine's Day to show my the woman I love how much I feel about it. I pick a day, you know, and just like the lady said, I usually write a poem. I have plenty of time to, you know, put things into words. It don't necessarily have to rhyme, but it tells her how I feel about her.
Absolutely.
And I write a little letter, detailed description as far as what I want her to do, and then I drop out unexpectedly and take her out to dinner, and that means more because it's unexpected.
Exactly.
As opposed to, you know, using Valentine's Day, you know, the roses to take her out, and she kind of wonder, you know, are you doing it because you love me or because it's Valentine's Day to keep you peace?
Right.
So it means more if you do it unexpectedly.
It does.
But, you know, doubt that's as far as how I feel about her.
So does that mean that you're not doing anything today?
Yeah.
Just curious.
We have to do that too. But,
okay. Okay. I got you. So you do that in addition to. That's fantastic. Yeah. That is fantastic. Now, what do you get? What do you get for Valentine's Day, or what have you received in the past?
Well, she does something unexpected. She might fix a special dinner for me.
Okay.
You know, and buy me a gift. You know, different things. It was unexpected, so you never know she never know what I'm gonna do, or what she could do for me. So
that's fantastic.
I love it.
Thanks so much for sharing, Keith. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Stephanie joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Stephanie. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
Hi, Stephanie.
Wonderful. Hi, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So my husband, who is kind of a football player, not a yoga type, I teach yoga, but my husband has agreed to participate tonight. We're actually teaching and participating in a couples yoga workshop
Oh,
tonight.
that is so great. That
Yes,
is
and
wonderful.
We're going to have 10 couples ranging from 30 all the way to 70, which I'm very excited about, and we give each other a foot massage at the end, and there's a little piece of chocolate and a glass of wine or sparkling punch or something. So that's how we'll be spending our evening.
That is
I love
fantastic. That is wonderful. And that also allows you all to spend some time doing something different together, but doing something that you don't normally do together.
Absolutely. And being with other people, too. I think sometimes there's a lot of pressure. We've been married 10 years, and we do date nights often, but to have a night, it's Valentine's Day, it has to be something better. It's nice to have other couples around. It gives you different conversations, and particularly with the different age groups, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be laughing a ton.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you all the very best.
Yes,
Thanks so
we
much
do.
for calling.
Thank you.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. What is the most romantic thing that has happened to you on Valentine's Day? What are you planning this evening? What do you hope happens for you this evening? Now, we have to talk about our brothers and sisters who are single. Now, some of them are single, but they are in relationships and they're trying maybe to take it to the next level. But there are some who are not in relationships. I remember being in the newsroom throughout my career and being single and watching, this parade of flowers that would come through the newsroom.
Like ocean waves.
Exactly, like ocean waves, and everybody, and the squeals and yells and so forth. How some coping skills so that you're not feeling awful around the fact that other people are celebrating their happiness.
Well, first of all, much of life is what you think about things. Your perspective is reality. So recognizing first that this day is not indicative of how many people love me. What often gets to singles is the question, who loves me today? And that day, quite frankly, lots of people are getting things from people who don't really love them either. They feel obligated to do certain things. This is the point in the relationship. You should do this. You should do that. It's not always out of the most genuine places that some of those things happen. So understanding that this is not a measure or a litmus test in any way of whether or not I'm loved. That's the first thing. Second thing is some of the best love you'll ever experience is between friends. I mean, let's be honest. We women have some of the best relationships ever. And some of us would trade our husbands for our best friends. So, I mean, husbands, you guys are wonderful, wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. But what happens between two women who are just kismet in terms of how they connect with one another, there is such love that exists there that sometimes you use each other as scaffolding. That, hey, let's get together and do something to celebrate our kind of love. And we're talking about just the love of friendship.
Because Valentine's Day does not have to be about romantic love or
Not at
intimate
all.
love. It can be about love, period. Yeah.
It's a day of love. I call my parents to say Happy Valentine's Day. I call my closest friends to say Happy Valentine's Day because I love them. So it's not just about myself and my spouse or myself and my significant other, but it's about the people you love in general. So take the pressure off of yourself to feel like it has to be some kind of romantic love.
So in my research, I found out that there is something called SAD, which is Singles Awareness Day.
Oh,
Isn't that awful? That's a
I don't
horrible
like
acronym.
that. I don't
because
like that.
It's an alternative to Valentine's Day for all the happy single people to commiserate in their single status. According to tradition, people wear green as it is considered to be the opposite of red, and a common greeting on this day is Happy Sad.
I don't like that at all.
I mean, because I think
Not
that's just saying
at
that
all.
because you're single, you're in this bad place.
And it's
that's
something,
not...
and it suggests deficiency or the absence of happiness, because we know that that's what sad means. It's the absence of happiness. And there's no reason on this planet why you have to be unhappy just because you don't have a romantic partner. Because if you have great love in your life, even if it's just the love of friendship, you are not alone. You are not without. So there are people who are married who don't have good friends. So they're, they're barely talking to their partners. Believe me, I spend time counseling couples sometimes. And when you're watching what's really happening in some marriages, quite frankly, there are a lot of singles who are in better shape.
Absolutely. Okay, how about this stat? 15% of U.S. women send flowers to themselves on Valentine's Day.
Well, I don't have a problem with that at all.
I think we should do that all year long.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
I think we should do that all year long.
Because loving yourself will be the beginning of a lifelong romance. There's a quote like that, and I can't remember who wrote it, but it is. I think that's lovely. That's your first love.
The other part of that, too, though, is when you love yourself, then you are able to attract others who will love you.
Absolutely. Because how you feel about you is marketing to the world about how they should feel about you. So if I don't love me, I am sending out marketing that says you don't have to value this. But if I love me, I am sending out marketing saying that you're going to have to value this if you're going to be in relationship with it. So you should love yourself. And it's not about narcissism. We're not talking about these grandiose ideas that we are perfect, but a sense of being okay in your own skin, that you're beautiful in your own way, whatever that may be, that you add something and you matter and you are valuable. You should love you. And if you love you, it sends a very different message out to the world.
And you should maintain that self-love also, even if you're in a relationship.
Oh, most definitely.
Because some people lose themselves in their partner.
Because they're looking to define themselves by how their partner responds to them. And that is too much power to give to anyone, no matter how much you love them. You have to know who you are for yourself. Because there'll be moments where the nature of human beings is to underappreciate each other on occasion. But if you get to a place where you're defining yourself through how somebody else feels about you, what happens when they stop valuing you? Do you stop valuing you? So you owe it to you to be faithful to yourself, even if nobody else is.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Give us a call. Give us some ideas of what we can do today to celebrate that is cost effective, but that really shows that you really care about that person beyond material things. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. We have a question from Facebook, and they want to know, what are some alternative things to do other than going out to a crowded restaurant?
Okay, well, I'm all for the staycations. I love the stay-ins, quite honestly, because we don't
turn the phone off.
Yeah, shut it all down.
Don't answer the door.
Shut it all down. I think a staycation can be one of the most romantic things you can possibly do. Now, obviously, you don't want to do a staycation in a dirty house or dirty apartment, so there is some prep that needs to come with that to say that this is intentional. It's not because I forgot it was Valentine's Day and here's the default, but it's to say that I planned for us to spend this evening together. The candles can be a very nice touch. The fireplace, wonderful touch. Planning and I call them carpet picnics. Planning a carpet picnic can be wonderful, where you really are not distracted by everybody else around you, whether or not you have the just right outfit on, whether or not you drove the just right car to the just right restaurant. All of those unnecessary things that are not reflective at all of how we feel about each other. But to really just be able to plug in is beautiful.
And if you have children, especially small children, should you get the babysitter, or should you incorporate it?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a mommy, and I want to see the back of my children's head on Valentine's Day. I want to see you either walking out the door, going to visit somebody else, and having a great time. I want you to have a lovely time, and I'm going to kiss your face and hug you and tell you how you're the greatest Valentine's Day ever. But Daddy and I need to spend some time together. So I'm a firm believer in the importance of investing in the center of the relationship, and that should be the parent relationship.
And you really do need to spend time.
Oh, it matters.
Because it does.
Oh, it matters. Because the nature of good parents is to sacrifice a lot of things in order to make sure that their children have what they need anyway. So there have to be some times where you say, it's okay for today to not be about you all 24 hours of it. We all need it to be about ourselves and each other at different points. We are the core of the relationships. When we are not invested in pouring out of an empty pitcher pitcher gets you nothing. You have to make sure that there are times and opportunities for you to pour back into what is at the core of that relationship. And that ideally is that between you and your partner, you and your spouse, whomever that may be.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Has anything really funny happened to you on Valentine's Day, or kind of disastrous? Can we learn some lessons from you? Give us a call, 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about love and Valentine's Day with our favorite relationship expert, Ms. Alvian Lyons. And we are about to take a very short break. We're going to go back over to Pledge Central to find out how we're doing with the pledging going on. Sandra, how you doing?
We're doing great, actually, Barbara. Thank you. This is a fascinating show, and I've been joined by our dear friend, Dan Cawley.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well because I've been madly in love with the same woman for 24 years.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
If my wife finds out, she'll kill me. Thank you, Henny Youngman. And it's quality entertainment. It's great. I love shows like this, by the way. And Barbara, thank you so much for bringing this type of programming on.
You're welcome.
Because this is the kind of in-depth conversation you don't find anywhere else on the radio. And that's why we're here today, to show some love for WHRV. 889-9476. Give us a call. Become a member. There's no exclusion here. It's everyone loves everyone here. But give us a call, become a member, and let people know that there's three things that you care about. One, you care about the quality programming like Barbara's bringing us right now. Two, you want to be part of the movement that enjoys the quality over commercialism. And three, you love us. 889-9476. Give us a call.
And the love is coming in, Barbara. We had that $1,500 challenge that you challenge everyone to, and here's where we are, $1,253.
Yes, come on, we can do it. We can do it, Eastern
challenge.
Virginia. Come on.
So we've got a few more bucks here. Dollar for dollar match is what we have here, up to $1,500, and we're pretty close. So another view, folks. This is a great opportunity to perhaps renew that membership, and if you do so right now, you're going to be matched dollar for dollar. So let us hear from you. 889-9476. If you've been listening to Another View these years and you have not become a member, why not try it out at the $48 level? It's just a few pennies a day, and you can see what it feels like to listen to Another View as someone who has invested in it. That's what happens when you are a member of public radio. You are an investor in what you're listening to. 889-9476. Get in on this challenge we've got going right now. We're pretty close to that $1,500, but a few brand new members, we can get you a dollar for dollar match right now. 889-9476.
These matches are a great way to feel like now is the time. It creates that urgency to get on the phones because for every buck you give, someone else is chipping in a buck. Somebody loves Another View, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of them out there. So if it's you, give us a call, 889-9476, because every dollar you have gets stretched just a little farther right now. And I'm a volunteer. I'm a member. And I love to support this station. And when I come on, I'm inviting you to join me as a member and support this program. And one of the little secrets that goes on in the background is that they pay attention around here to what shows get calls. And so I'm saying to you, join me right now and call for Another View. First of all, let's take advantage of this challenge. And second of all, let's make sure shows like this stay on the air. You can't find it anywhere else on the dial. I challenge you to find it. And speaking of challenge, we need at least 3 more callers to get to this challenge. 889-9476 or point, click, and contribute to WHRV.org. So you can ring, you can ping. Hey, giving someone a ring on Valentine's Day, that's not too cliche. Thank you.
I want to welcome a brand new member. I love the new members. Craig Brewbreaker of Hampton called for his lovely Valentine, Terry. That's his wife. And in memory of Sam the first and now Sam the second dogs. We're getting a lot of that today. Folks are taking part not only in Pet Pledge Friday, but also Valentine's Day. Yep. And we've got a match here. So, we got so much going on in here. I can't even think of a reason why you would not pledge your support right now to Another View. 889-9476.
Pet Pledge, People Pledge. Barbara Pledge, just get on the phone and pledge.
Actually, but speaking of Barbara Pledge, because we almost have 100% participation from our staff.
Yes, we do.
We are all members of WHRV, so we really want you to join us and become a part of our family.
And that speaks volumes, and I give a lot of credit to the staff, first of all, for just doing wonderful work, and second of all, for stepping up. 889-9476 is how you do it. 889-9476. Let's follow the example like Kevin Finnerty did from Virginia Beach in honor of his 4 Newfoundland dogs.
Wow.
He's a current member
I hope that's
renewed.
a big house.
It isn't now. It's about to be a new wall's torn out. And Carol Mayer from Williamsburg for the Hound Dog Berkeley, a rescue dog. So rescue us by giving us a call. 889-9476.
And now we're going to take you back to what it is that you're paying for, what it is you're investing in. That is great programming, like Another View here on WHRV. Fascinating conversation about love. We're looking forward to feeling the love here in Campaign Central. A little more money to go with this $1,500 challenge. Make that pledge right now, and your money counts double. 757-889-9476 or WHRV.org. And thank you. Thanks, Barbara.
Okay, thank you. That's Sandra Woodward and Dan Cawley over in Pledge Central. Please make that call right now, 889-9476. We're back to Another View, and we're talking about love with our relationship expert, Alvian Lyons. And I'm going to encourage you to give our show a call. I know we're throwing out a lot of numbers today, but the show number is 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. We want to hear about your Valentine's Day experiences. John joins us from Norfolk. Hi, John. You're on the air.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
Hey, John.
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Just driving home to see my girlfriend this weekend.
Fantastic. Where is she?
She's from Texas.
Oh, my.
And she's flying up for the first time. I'm deploying out pretty soon.
Wow.
And, I'm using this as the last opportunity to see her and, see my family before I go on deployment.
Oh, wow. Thank you for your service, John.
Yes,
we really
absolutely,
appreciate
John.
that. Thank you so much. So what's your Valentine's story?
All right. Well, it's not a personal Valentine's story. It's kind of someone else.
Okay.
But I just thought it was a really funny and I can't believe I'm using this word, but a cute story. And I was getting gas, and I walked into one of the Navy exchanges, and there was an elder gentleman there in back of me, and I'm checking out, and he's kind of, he looks very glum at the moment, and I looked back, and I was going to say something to him, but the cash register noticed him before me. So then she asked what was wrong, and meanwhile, he doesn't look like functional at the moment. So he's like, no, I actually just came in. My wife works here, and I really miss my Valentine right now. And the guy's like 75 or 80 years old, and I just thought that was really funny because, it goes to show you that you're never too old to show that other person some love,
Absolutely. What a great story.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
Fantastic. Well, John, we hope you have a fabulous, happy Valentine's Day, and please be safe during your deployment.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
You guys take
Thanks,
care.
John.
Bye-bye. So, and love comes in all ages.
Yes, it does, and it should never stop. I don't, when people say, the honeymoon is over, I'm just not a believer in that. I really don't believe that.
I have to tell you, Alvin, because you know my story,
I do.
and Maxie and I will have been married 6 years come this June.
Yay,
and people, and I smile every time I say it because, anyway. But people say to me, old couples that have been married for like, oh, you just wait, that smile will stop. And it's like, never. I hope not.
That to me is like people saying, just wait, you'll eventually get cancer. I find that ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We don't have to, there's no rule that says that the honeymoon has to end. What really people are saying is over time, you'll learn to take each other for granted. Mm. That's what they're really saying.
So what do you do to prevent that?
It is really a conscious decision. Because romance is a conscious decision. It's not something that just, as much as it is organic.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
You have to decide you want romance present. And even in the spontaneity, there's a decision that says, I'm going to allow my relationship to be spontaneous. Because a lot of times with all the things that we've got going on in our lives, we feel like between careers, kids if you have them, other obligations and responsibilities, all that good stuff, there's so much life going on that we don't allow ourselves to be spontaneous. So you actually have to make a conscious decision to do that, to welcome that into your world, the same way you have to welcome love into your world, the same way you have to welcome partnership into your world. All of those things are decisions that are made first before they actually even happen. And then secondarily, if you're going to experience romance, you have to be intentional about the romance. That yes, you could have come home and just turned on the television and you could have zoned out all evening, but instead you decided, let me go upstairs and I'm going to make up the bed a particular way because I want my partner to come lay down with me and we're going to just talk about everything except for work. We're not going to talk about work and we're not going to talk about the kids. We are going to remember why we were into each other. And you'd be amazed how spontaneous can turn into willing. Okay? You'd be amazed.
I love that. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Mike joins us from Virginia Beach.
Yeah, this is your cousin, but I just want to say Happy Valentine's Day to
Happy
you
Valentine's
all.
Day, Mike.
Yes.
Happy Valentine's, Mike.
Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, I've been married for 32 years.
To his lovely wife, Tina.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you for mentioning that because I wanted to. And we try to treat every day as Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And my youngest daughter is a Valentine's Day baby. She turns 26 today.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Lauren.
Yes. And you know, and as your guest has said, it's all about love and making time. But I think it starts with us individually because love begins with us. And it ends with us. We have to love ourselves because there's a lot of folks that don't have no Valentine today.
It's true.
Yeah.
But they have to love themselves first.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks so much. You have something special planned for this evening, or is it a surprise?
Well, like I said, every day is Valentine's Day here, and we do have something special. Lauren is going to be performing tonight, so we're going to go out and have a good time with her.
Fantastic.
Well,
I love it. Thanks so
Lauren.
much for the call, Mike. We really appreciate it. You know, there's another fun fact I found, too, since he spoke about Lauren being a Valentine's Day baby. More pregnancy tests are sold in March than any other month. So I just thought that was amusing. Judy joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Judy. You're on the air.
Hey, Barbara. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
And I would like to say happy Valentine's to my wife of 5 months, but my partner of 31 years.
Wow.
A very, very happy Valentine's, Fran. And happy Valentine to all my brothers and sisters after the ruling last night.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that
Happy
call. Judy, what are you
Valentine's
guys
Day,
going to
Judy.
do to celebrate?
Let's see, the same thing we've done probably for the last 20 years, which is kind of nothing. Although I found strawberries, so I did get strawberries.
Okay, there you go. Thanks so much for the call, and happy
Thanks very
Valentine's
much.
Day to you, too.
Love starts with a seed. Hey. Hey.
You know, one other fact I found, too, which really made me chuckle, when a man holds a baby, his testosterone level drops.
Really?
That's what they say.
So when a woman holds one, does her estrogen level climb?
I'm curious about that, you know, how that whole thing comes together. But, you know, here's one. Some psychologists argue that we fall in love with someone who is similar to the parent with whom we had unresolved childhood issues, unaware that we are seeking to resolve this childhood relationship in adulthood. You agree? Disagree?
I actually think that there is some merit to that perspective. I actually think that's also true about how we pick our friends. Because my very closest friend is truly my mother,
Really?
30 years younger. Truly. I mean, to the T.
So do you think, but you guys just became friends? You weren't consciously thinking?
No, you're not. But it's just I think that it's sort of what we do in life. We're always trying to finish the picture. you know, and when you're too young as a kid, you can't really do certain things. So you look to be able to complete that as you get older. And I guess on some level, we do look to complete that work in the people we surround ourselves with. So in our love relationships, I wouldn't say just with our partners alone, but in our love relationships as a whole, I do think that we look to finish some of that unresolved childhood work. I really think that's true. Because I'm telling you, if you put, I mean, when they get together, my mom is like, you're the child I was meant to have.
You're the child too, Albion.
Oh, it's okay. I'm not offended at all. Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Because I love me.
From Facebook, some suggestions on activities for singles on Valentine's Day.
Okay. So why not, just the same way that when divorces were horribly taboo, and I'm, not taking a position one way or another based on what people's faith are and their positions where that is concerned, but there was a time when it was so taboo that people totally swept that under the carpet. They didn't want anybody to know that the marriage had ended, so on and so forth. And then we went through a period of time where people had Independence Day parties. When a bad marriage came to an end, as opposed to mourning the loss of the marriage, they celebrated the freedom to be able to find the right partner in life. So instead of taking the position that I'm going to disappear, I'm going to curl up with, a Jane Eyre book, whatever it is. I mean, instead of taking that position, why not coordinate something with some of your other single friends instead, so that we're celebrating the fact that we have love in a whole nother form. We have the love of partnership. We have the love of together. We have the love of having each other's backs when we need each other. This is a good reason to enjoy each other that day. There's no reason you have to be alone. And if you do not have really close friends to be able to spend the time with, one of the other really excellent ways to feel loved is to give love. So go volunteer somewhere. Go be love for someone else. It's amazing. And people never think about it or rarely think about it, but it's amazing how you feel about yourself when you give to someone what it is you wish you had. It comes back to you almost instantaneously and exponentially greater than what you could have ever expected. So if you have none coming in, give some out.
Give some out, and it will come back to you.
Yes, it will.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. We only have about 10 minutes left, so if you want to share your love story or plans for this evening, please give us a call, 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. And I don't want you to be confused. If you call our show, it does not mean you're pledging. There are two different things. So give us a call because we want to talk to you here today on Another View. Also on Facebook, someone wanted to know, should you teach your kids about Valentine's Day? I want to expand that a bit. What do you teach your kids about love?
Oh, I like that. That's a good question. Well, first of all, in a kind of philosophical response, that life means nothing if you have no love. And regardless of how, because we work so hard to make sure that our kids are successful, regardless of how successful you are, if you don't have anybody to share that success with, it still feels like failure. So learning that there are priorities in life. There are things that are bigger than the accolades. It is who you get to share those accolades with that is really going to matter at the end of the day. We in our household sometimes talk about living backwards. However it is that you want to die, as morbid as that may sound to some people, but however it is you want to die, think about what you want that to be like and back up so that every day you are living such that that will be true. So for me, I want all of Hampton Roads to shut down when I die. I want people to not be able to drive anywhere because they're all so sad that I have left this earth. And that can only be true if I've spent my life loving. If I have made sure that every person that I've come into contact with knows that you are visible with me, I see you, and I appreciate you, then I have a good shot at being able to have my funeral full.
Good lesson to teach. Peggy joins us from Williamsburg. Hi, Peggy. You're on the air.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi.
I just wanted to share my little story that, both my parents are gone now, but apparently I was a Valentine's Day present in 1957. I was born in November, and my parents chalk it all up to the Peggy Lee song, Fever. When people ask me, if I'm a Margaret, I say, no, I'm Peggy, and I'm named after Peggy Lee. So music definitely has something to do with today, too.
Oh, that's fantastic, Peggy. We love that story. How are you spending today?
Today I'm going to go have lunch with my daughter who works at the library, and then tonight I think my husband and I are going to go out to dinner.
Fantastic. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day, Peggy.
Happy Valentine's Day to you guys. Too.
Alrighty.
My favorite Valentine.
Thank
favorite holiday.
Take care. Daryl joins us from Virginia Beach. Hi, Daryl. You're on the air.
Hello. Hey, Miss Barbara. How are you?
Okay. How are you?
Doing well. I love your show, first and foremost.
Thank you very much.
And we love you, Daryl.
Yep.
Thank you all. I was calling because I'm a helpless romantic kind of guy, and I'm just wondering, in today's age, because we have all technology and instant, I've seen people break up with text messages online. Everything is so instant now and so sterile. My question is, do you think sometimes that women today, can they appreciate the old things? Like I'm one of those helpless romantic that I will mail a handwritten letter with a scent of my cologne to the woman while she gets it in mail.
I'm a fan.
On Valentine's Day. Do you think we're kind of losing that sense of romance today because everything is so instant and so emailish and techy now?
Oh, I love that question, Daryl. That is a fantastic question. And do know that I'm officially a fan, okay? I'm a fan. I think it's a fantastic... yes, we are losing it. And we've actually talked about this on previous shows of what the progress in technology has done in detriment, unfortunately, to real connection between people. And no place suffers more than romance, since romance is truly the birthplace of connection, so to speak. Or one could even say connection is the birthplace of romance, whichever the chicken and the egg, you can call it whatever you want. But the reality is that it is about really being able to separate and allow everything else to fall away so that just you and I are present in a moment. And when you take the time to sit down and hand pen a letter to someone, that's not an afterthought. And there's something beautiful about being somebody's primary thought, because that's what romance is. It is, there's nothing more important than you in this moment. You are all that I see, feel, understand, and am interested in right now. You're my primary investment. And the fact that Daryl understands that, I think that that is fantastic. And I don't think that in any way it will be undervalued. Quite the contrary, because it is now a diamond as a result of everything else becoming so watered down.
It makes Daryl stand out.
It does, which is exactly what I'm saying.
People don't.
You become a diamond in the midst of all of the coal.
Daryl, what do you have planned for this evening?
Well, I'm cooking. I'm single, and I love me. So, and just a little bit. I'm considered an emerald because an emerald is a more precious stone than a diamond.
We'll accept your emerald status.
It's just diamonds are more, overstated. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. So so thank you all so much for this. This is great, and thanks everything for y'all do in Hampton Roads. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Daryl.
We appreciate it. Take care and happy Valentine's Day to you.
Bye-bye.
So we've got about 5 minutes left in the show. Let's talk about what happens if you have a feeling for someone, but you're not getting that reciprocated. Yes.
Ooh.
I have to tell a quick story because
Sure.
this is a long time ago when I was working at a television station in Baltimore, and I received flowers from someone. And it was very, very sweet. A huge, big bouquet of red roses. But I did not share those same sentiments. And I didn't want to be cruel. So
what do you do?
What do you do?
Be gracious. I think that the safe thing to do always is be gracious. There is no reason why, even if I'm not feeling what you're feeling, that I can't be appreciative of the fact that you do feel that for me. Because it is still a gift for someone to think so well of you, to find you attractive in so many ways. So being gracious, there's nothing inappropriate about saying that was so wonderfully thoughtful, and I appreciate that very much. You're not saying, I welcome the opportunity for us to pursue this, to go any further, but merely to say, thank you for thinking of me. That's there's nothing wrong with having manners.
And after you have the manners, though, if they try to take it to the next level.
And that's when you say, you know, at this point, and depending upon the nature of the relationship, you may say, you know, at this point in my life, I actually am really just focusing on developing me. So let's assume that we're, you know, both mutually single. And everybody goes through different stages when they're ready to date, when they're not ready to date. You don't have to make it so overt that I'm not interested in you. You can say instead that really I'm focused on me right now. I'm working on being whole so that I'll make a good partner for someone or whoever that next person is.
Same thought if someone says, I love you, and you don't feel that way?
Right. Well, you can say that I'm grateful for your love. You can be thankful for someone's love without necessarily being in love with them also or reciprocating that love per se. You can even say that, you know, your friendship is so wonderful, assuming that the relationship was based in a friendship, that someone leaned romantic when that was not your intention, that your friendship is a gift of love that I will always appreciate. But you are sending a very clear message when you say that. It's the love of you as a friend that I am grateful for, without having to say that you are not ever going to be my man. Okay.
So regardless of what people are doing tonight or today to celebrate, and I'm talking about couples now, paying attention to the other person really should be the ultimate goal out of this, should it not?
I would say that there are four things, and I talk about this in terms of how do we take this beyond Valentine's Day into enriching our romantic lives or our connection with our partners. And the first thing is, like, let's talk about it in terms of a quick acronym, LOVE. L, listen and don't just hear. O, be optimistic. Relationships tend to go in the direction you believe they're going to go. Be optimistic about that. V, create opportunities for you to be vulnerable with one another, because romance is deeply hidden in vulnerability and trust and openness. And then E, expectations. Whatever it is that you expect, explain what you expect so you set your partner up for success rather than failure.
You know, go back to that E for just a second, though, because people really, I think, struggle with what is the language I use if I'm trying to explain to you what I need? Do you know what I mean? Because,
I do.
Because I think people feel awkward
in saying those things.
And they're able to tell people that.
It's amazing how well you can couch information in a compliment. To say, I love it when, is the same thing as telling you what I would like from you. Because if I say, I love it when you open the door for me, when you remember to give me a call during the day, when you just send me a quick text in between your meetings, I love it when you do that. You're also saying, this is what I want. So there are ways to communicate. And when you're with somebody who wants to be with you, they are interested in picking up on the things that will allow you to feel loved by them, cared for by them. So if you offer them a map to your heart and they choose not to pursue that, they're also communicating a message to you simultaneously.
Well, guess what, Alvian? We love you.
I love you guys.
We love you.
Brave
and
all
we
the traffic
love
for you anytime.
Having you here, absolutely, on the show. But seriously, you do help. You have such an easy way for people to understand how to connect, and that's really what it's all about. Because we all want that to happen. Absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Gorgeous.
And we will be right back.
I will never leave you out. I will always let you in, oh, baby, to places no one's there.
And welcome back to Another View. That was Lisa Godley's favorite love song, our producer, Lisa Godley. So happy Valentine's Day, Lisa. We're really happy to hear that. So guess what? We raised $1,732. So we went beyond our match. Thank you so much, our listeners of Another View. We so appreciate you. I cannot believe that we did this. This is just fantastic. And I just want to give a personal thanks to all of you who support Another View by becoming a member, or by listening, by giving us a call, by encouraging us. Now, you know, all the money goes into this big pot that we pay for programming here at WHRV, but our bosses do pay attention to when you call in. So your calls today have let them know that Another View is valuable to you. And Lisa, Victor, and I are so grateful for all of the calls that you make. It's not too late to participate, so give us a call at 757-889-9476. Tell the volunteer that you just love Another View. We sure will appreciate it. Next week, we're going to how one civic group is going to do its best to stop the violence in our community. Our theme music was composed and performed by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our producer, and Victor Bowen is our audio engineer. Austin Bell answered our phones. From all of us at Another View, here's a great big Valentine's hug. Thank you for your support, and let's get together again next Friday at noon for Another View.